Y'all, it looks like Jaguar Wright is determined to end Beyonce because she has had her foot on Beyonce's neck for the past couple of years, and she is not moving her foot anytime soon. Jaguar has been putting more and more pressure on Beyonce since Jay-Z got exposed, hinting that she has a lot of dirt on Beyonce. Well, she just revealed some of the dirt she has on Beyonce, and it seems like she is hinting that Beyonce might have something to do with Aaliyah's passing. Now, the streets have been suspecting a lot of foul play surrounding Aaliyah's passing, but everyone thought that Jay-Z did it out of jealousy. However, Jaguar is telling a different story now, pointing fingers at Beyonce and accusing her of allegedly plotting to take Aaliyah out. Y'all, there is so much to unpack here, so let's break it down. If there are any two people in Hollywood that Jaguar Wright absolutely hates, it's Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, sure, she hates Diddy too, but it's nothing compared to how much she hates the Carters, because she stays steady trying to expose them. For example, when Diddy got exposed and sued by Cassie last year, y'all know what Jaguar did? She used that moment to throw shade at Jay-Z, claiming that Jay-Z was in on Diddy's shenanigans and that he was even worse than Diddy.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
Honestly, it's not so surprising that Jaguar hates them so much because in an interview, she claimed that Jay-Z allegedly tried to unalive her when she was his backup singer, and he came after her with a box cutter.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Huh? So there's been so many people on the internet trying to figure out where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you out.
You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy.
So yeah, there is no love lost between Jaguar and the Carters, so she stays exposing their secret. In a new interview with Piers Morgan, Jaguar claimed that Jay-Z was allegedly the brain behind the Me Too movement because he needed to get rid of R. Kelly. According to her, he was allegedly trying to hide evidence of his relationship with R. Kelly, so he distanced himself from R. Kelly and bankrolled the Me Too movement.
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
But that's not all, because she also has something to say about Aaliyah's death, claiming that she was allegedly unalived by none other than Beyonce.
I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
That was a bold claim, but Jaguar said what she said and she did not stutter. Like I said, the reports of Aaliyah allegedly being murdered are nothing new, and fans have always tied her murder to the Carters, claiming that it all started because of Jay-Z's obsession with Aaliyah. Before Jay-Z got obsessed with Aaliyah, she used to be married to his bestie, R. Kelly, the same man that Jaguar accused Jay-Z of setting up to take down. The shady part about this is that R. Kelly forced legal documents to marry Aaliyah when she was just 15 and he was 27. The marriage ended up getting annulled when her parents found out, but it was super creepy that Jay-Z not only knew about the marriage and did nothing about it, but also developed his own obsession with Aaliyah. Back in the early 2000s, Aaliyah was that girl in Hollywood. Like, she wasn't just one of the biggest female stars, she might have been the biggest, period. And with that kind of fame, you know she had a ton of admirers. Plenty of men were trying to shoot their shot, including Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Now the relationship between the men was already rocky, but when they started competing for the same woman, yeah, things got even messier. Aaliyah knew exactly how desirable she was, and she wasn't shy about it. She was out here giving attention as much as she got it, hanging with different guys without really committing to any of them. And from what sources say, it wasn't even about getting intimate. She just enjoyed the attention and the gifts. Jay-Z and Dame were part of that circle, both trying to win her over, all while knowing the other was doing the exact same thing.
I like kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story.
So you and Jay was both getting at Aaliyah. Obviously,
everybody was getting at Aaliyah, bro.
Right.
She was like, you know, she'll go to dinner with a, but she wasn't going to just be smashing. So that was like the big deal, like who could get with Aaliyah.
Two friends going after the same girl is a recipe for disaster every single time. We've seen this play out way too often and it never ends well. Of course, the jealousy kicked in pretty quick and Aaliyah wasn't making it any easier by going on dates with both of them. She was out here living her best life while Jay and Dame were probably side-eyeing each other every chance they got. It's no wonder things went south really fast.
The true reason of Rockefeller's breakup.
But everybody knows that. Like we were both. I
heard it, but I didn't.
Yeah, but what they be trying to act like he was like really nah, he was sending flowers and doing all this shit that he was courting her. So we were both going hard.
You know Jay-Z does not take L's lightly, so this whole thing was already on thin ice. But it hit the fan when Aaliyah finally decided to hook up with Dame. And even though Dame didn't come right out and tell Jay-Z about it, Jay still found out because it all went down at a 4th of July party they were all at.
And I remember coming downstairs, like, you know, it happened. He was like... So, you know, this is going to be hard for me. Because he was like, like, you know, his friends were laughing at him and shit. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I might have a question since we're talking about Aaliyah, and ignore me if it's too much. But do you have any opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded, or he's where he belongs?
Dame also revealed that he knew that Jay-Z was going to make things hard for him because he was super pissed.
With Jay, that's why I was that was almost like one of the things where I was just like, he's out of here, Jay. I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that he had my girl.
Jaguar Wright also claimed that Aaliyah was the reason that Dame and Jay-Z fell out because Jay-Z was just so salty.
And it's so funny because Biggs is up under him now. But it was really Jay and Biggs that had the problem. Like, they had the beef. You know what I mean? Like, I was always just like, let's just be friends. Like, I just want to be brothers. You know, that's all I wanted, was just to be cool. And, yeah. So, I forgot what I was going. What was I talking about?
Now, we was just talking about Jay-Z doing the album with
R. Kelly.
With R. Kelly, so even though he knew that.
I got it. Aaliyah. So one of the things that, to squash the beef, also I was like, well, and either way, I was like, well, just don't put my name on that. I don't want no money from that. If it is, put it to Aaliyah Foundation.
After this, he moved on to Beyonce, but the streets were convinced that he still had the hots for Aaliyah big time. It also didn't help that there was a lot of competition between Beyonce and Aaliyah at the time, and being in that weird love triangle made it even worse. But then she passed away suddenly in a plane crash, and suddenly Beyonce got the man and the status. The circumstances surrounding her death were super shady even today because it was a very avoidable death. Aaliyah was in the Bahamas filming a music video, but what's shady about this is that the shoot was originally supposed to be in Florida. Everything was good to go, but out of nowhere, Hype Williams, the director, decided to move the whole thing to the Bahamas without even checking with Aaliyah first. The shoot itself went off without a hitch, and they even finished early. But when it was time to head back to Florida, they got stuck because there was no transportation since they were ahead of schedule. Aaliyah hit up her friend, Lenny Kravitz, and he was ready to send his jet to fly her home. But then Hype Williams stepped in, saying he had another flight arranged. That replacement plane was a disaster from the first look. It was way too small for Aaliyah and the crew. It was overloaded, and to make matters worse, reports say the pilot was under the influence. Multiple eyewitnesses revealed that Aaliyah had a bad feeling about the whole situation and refused to get on the plane. Allegedly, her team forced her to take a sedative and carried her on board while she was unconscious, which is what Jaguar was referring to in her Piers Morgan interview. Tragically, the plane crashed shortly after takeoff, and Aaliyah and everyone on board lost their lives. What made this even more suspicious is that several insiders, like Mary J. Blige, have boldly spoken out in the past about how there was more to Aaliyah's death than we knew, and she hinted that Aaliyah was sacrificed.
I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not, because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair.
Well, the streets are convinced that Jaguar Wright is trying to tell us that Beyonce was allegedly the one who took Aaliyah out because she wanted the man and the fame. Fans commented, Beyonce was so jealous of Aaliyah. Beyonce is complicit in this mess. She knows more than what she is telling. Personally, I am done with the whole mess. And the stuff that I'm finding out about Beyonce evil self is crazy and scary like what the F. But y'all let me know what you think about this and then check out this next video.